Alright everybody, welcome back to the Armaggeddon Dota 2 Asia Grand Slam. We are live, we fixed all the issues here on the stream as well as the live venue audio, and we are here in our first match of today, the first match of the Armaggeddon Dota 2 Asia Grand Slam. $20,000 and more in sponsorship gear as well as prize money up for grabs between these 14 teams who have made it here. We've got Awake coming all the way from Thailand, playing on that Dire side, and over on the Radiant team, we've got Pacific 2 from the Philippines, and we're here in our first match. These two teams facing off and, well, looking to get that early edge. It is a double elimination bracket. You do get that second chance if you do fall down to the loser bracket, but nobody wants to end there, especially this early on into the tournament. The first day of 4, the first day early in the morning, you don't want to be getting off to a bad start, and we're going to see how these two teams go head-to-head. We've got Awake. They had the first pick, banning out the Nyx Assassin as well as the Magnetor. Over on the Pacific side, we see a Wisp as well as a Darkseer ban, and then we get ourselves into our early picks. Batrider, pretty much your go-to solo hero, gets snagged by Awake, a nice counter to those sort of BKB-type carries, and then Pacific get themselves Keeper Light, Shadow Demon, and now the Phantom Lancer. There's your carry hero, there's your hero they're going to be looking to sort of bank all their money on going into the late game, as well as just being a very dominant laning hero when you combine him with that Keeper of the Light. It's hard to go aggressive against him because you're just going to get constantly spammed down by those Phantom Lancers. Over on the Awake side, they've gone for a Rubik as well as Lifestealer, so a much more sort of well-rounded lineup. Sure, you've got the carry there with the Lifestealer, but it's less sort of all in with your carry hero, the Phantom Lancer, and they're going to look to sort of round this off, grab themselves another support hero, maybe grab themselves a side lane solo, or even a solo mid if they want to send Batrider into that lane. And then we go on to our second stage of bans here. As mentioned, this is the Armaggeddon Dota 2 Asia Grand Slam here in Singapore. You can come on down if you're in Singapore. We're at the Marina Bay Sands Convention Center, Hall B2, and a fantastic 4 days of events here, thanks to Armaggeddon. They're holding this tournament here. We've got the stream being produced by Raptor, so big thanks to those guys. But for now, guys, Dota 2 action. I'm Gods from Beyond the Summit and casting 4 days of action here in Singapore. So huge thanks to everyone tuning in. Huge thanks to everyone who's supporting this Dota 2 event, and we're going to see who's going to come out on top early on between Awake as well as Pacific here. Next few bans coming through, we see the Queen of Pain as well as the Puck being banned up by Awake. No real surprise there. They're worried about those solo heroes. They see Pacific essentially have their tri lane. They need a solo hero for the mid lane as well as the side lane, and that's where you see these just top common solo heroes. The Queen of Pain as well as the Puck being banned out. Over on the Pacific side, we look at a Sand King as well as Enigma being banned out. So these sort of more teamfight-oriented heroes, because that's where Pacific can be beat, in the teamfight. They want to make sure that Awake don't get this strong teamfight composition. When you've got a Batrider to initiate, you've got the follow-up damage coming from a Lifestealer as well as some support from a Rubik. The one thing they need is that big AoE team ultimate, which is where, well, Sand King as well as Enigma bans. And even the bans coming out from Awake are heroes that they could have maybe utilized for those teamfights, especially the hero like a Puck. But we are going to see the last couple of bans coming out now. It is Awake who have the fourth pick, who gets first grabs at whatever's left in the pool. They ban out the Windrunner. So we're going to see Windrunner being taken out of the pool. Another solo hero, one that the Filipino teams is known for using. These three bans, Queen of Pain, Puck, Windrunner, all very sort of top common heroes in the Filipino scene as far as the Dota 1 scene goes, and we're going to see what that leaves them with, what they look to go for instead with these solo roles. Something like maybe like a Bounty Hunter in the off lane. For your mid lane, you've got lots of options here, depending on who they expect to be up against. Batrider most likely going to be there, and that sort of, I guess, pushes them away from something like a Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin still in the pool, but being potentially up against a Batrider, not a very favorable matchup. So it does make it a lot harder to pick up that Templar Assassin if that's where you want to go. Last ban now for Pacific, starting to chew through some of their reserve time, something which Awake have done almost with all of their reserve time as Pacific. This last ban, they're probably looking for another teamfight hero, something which can really just sort of catch them by surprise with some AoE lockdown. No, they ban out a carry, actually. Klinks gets banned out, and they're worried about having that sort of dual-core lineup coming from Awake. Have the Lifestealer in a tri-lane, have Klinks playing the safe lane solo, or possibly even a mid-solo. And it is a nice hero to hunt down a Phantom Lancer with. If you can find him farming alone, have the Orcas up, you can silence him and burst him down quickly. Makes him a lot more killable in those team fights, or just looking to gank him in the mid-game before he gets too farm, before he gets up those sort of 4 or 5 big items, he just carries the game, walks away with it.
10 seconds remaining.
Banning this out seems to be a bit of a safety precaution, as it looks like we just need to quickly just change the in-game audio. There we go, guys. Hopefully that's a bit better for you guys, and everyone watching on the stream as well as here live in Singapore. Do let us know, and just let us know in the chat if there is something wrong. We do see a Shadow Fiend getting picked up by Awake, and that is essentially most likely going to be their solo mid hero. They can run it in the safe lane, but when they've already got the Lifestealer there, that's looking to be their tri-lane hero. That's looking to be where they go for as far as the more reliable farm. Shadow Fiend can have a big impact, can be looking to go for the Shadow Blade and get himself a lot of farm, control those mid-game team fights, and it's sort of a substitute to getting the Sand King or the Enigma. He's a more carry-based team fight hero, but if you can get off that big ultimate in a team fight, it does a hell of a lot of damage. And Pacific now taking their time with their 4th pick. We're going to have to see where they want to go with this, how they look to round up this lineup. They haven't got a solo yet. They haven't really got much team fight potential either, apart from the Keeper of the Light. Illuminate, great for that, but you need something to back it up. You need some disables and lockdowns, something... don't really want to go for an Earthshaker when you've already got 2 supports, but that's the kind of type of hero. Something with an AoE stun, an AoE lockdown disable. It's what they're lacking, and it's also what's been banned out, with Windrunner, Puck, Sand King, Enigma all getting banned out, as the 4th pick is now coming up. 20 seconds of reserve time, so Pacific, they're being put under a lot of pressure here with this last pick. They're going to grab themselves an Invoker, so the jack of all trades. He's got a whole toolbox of spells to throw it awake, and most likely going to be going towards that mid lane in that 1v1 matchup against the Shadow Fiend, a hero haven't seen much of in some time, but excited to see an Invoker making a resurgence here in Singapore at the Armaggeddon Dota 2 Asia Grand Slam. We're going to see how Pacific look to use it, whether we see an Exalt build look to get very aggressive, get some early kills, and when you've got the Shadow Demon Disruption, you can easily set up a nice Sunstrike. Make sure that you can get that Sunstrike landing on a potential kill. Lifestealer, obviously hard to kill. He's got the Rage, he's got the Magic Immune to get out of there, but any of these other heroes, if caught out by a Disruption, can be almost guaranteed to land the Sunstrike, followed up with some damage, a Lancer, a Phantom Lancer, an Illuminate, and you could be looking at an early kill. Ancient Apparition, the last pick now for Awake, so they're just going to round things off with a strong, stable support hero. That gives them the Ancient Apparition, the Rubik, as well as Lifestealer as their tri-lane. And then we look at where they want to put the tri-lane. Do they send it top, go offensive with... Sorry, send it top and stay safe. Send Batrider to the off lane, Shadow Fiend mid, and go with a safe lane farming Lifestealer. Or if they really want, they can get aggressive. Try shut down the Phantom Lancer's farm, send their tri-lane to the offensive lane, and just really look to give them a hard time farming. Because Rubik and Ancient Apparition, with that lockdown, with the open woods, you're guaranteed for the cold feet of the Ancient Apparition to hit. You also get his 3rd skill, which gives him a lot of bonus damage, and that's where we see the last pick coming out from Pacific. They get themselves a Nature's Prophet, which will be, I imagine, their side lane solo, something to help out that tri-lane, especially if they're expecting it to be an offensive tri-lane. They want to make sure they're ready for anything and have that additional backup coming in if they need it from a hero like a Nature's Prophet. So anyways, guys, we're now live with our first game here in Singapore. We've got Pacific 2 coming all the way from the Philippines. We've got KRR playing the Shadow Demon, Phantom Lancer in the hands of Nico. We've got NY Acres playing the Keeper of the Light. We've got Question Mark playing the Invoker, and Lennon Demon playing the Nature's Prophet. Over on the Dire side, coming from Thailand, we've got the Awake team. We've got Boomshell playing the Batrider. We've got Toy on the Lifestealer, DVA playing Shadow Fiend, AFF playing Ancient Apparition, and then finally, on the Rubik is Yotu Yatu. As somebody on the live stream may quickly realize, a lot of the stuff that is going on here is being live broadcasted, so the players can hear me, which means I can't actually reveal what's going on in Fog, as it does sort of give away what's going on with the team. So guys on the live stream, do bear with me, as there's a lot that I want to say, but just can't be said. I can't give away the lanes early on, I can't give away movements and ganks as well, but we are going to see... Well, you guys can see, you just can't hear, and we're going to have to wait and see how things unravel here. Once the lane stage breaks out, then we'll get into things here. Both teams, as mentioned, playing in this winner bracket round of 16. They want to get off to an early start. It is a double elimination bracket, but being knocked down early is, well, not going to be too favorable for anyone. Not where you want to be early on, especially when you've got some tough opponents later on in the tournament. You've got teams such as First Departure coming from Singapore. You've got Winter's team, Team ABC coming over from Malaysia. You've got a strong list of teams here coming from, I think, eight or so different countries throughout Southeast Asia. Pacific, one of 2 teams representing the Philippines. As well as they're also joined by their other compatriots, Gangster, but Awake, the only Thai representative here in Singapore, so they're looking to carry the Thai flag, and we're going to have to wait and see whether or not they have what it takes to take on the Filipinos, who have gone with a somewhat non-Pinoy lineup here, not going for your traditional Queen of Pain, your Dragon Knights, your Windrunners. A lot of those heroes were getting banned out, but we'll have to wait and see whether or not it's something that they're comfortable with, how things progress here early on in our Armageddon Dota 2 Asia Grand Slam, as the creep waves are going to be coming out in about 20 seconds time, and then we get to see how the lanes shape up. Both teams essentially want to use this early game to get out, try scout your opponent's lanes, try get some intel, set up some wards where you want them, maybe look to block the enemy pull, maybe look to get some lane wards, but for the most part, neither team managing to find each other just yet. So far, both teams' efforts have been in vain, not being able to find the opposing teams early on, so they're not quite sure what the lanes are going to be for one another. And for the Radiant team, you've got the hard carry, the Phantom Lancer. You want to make sure he gets a lot of farm, and that's generally looking at that safe lane Phantom Lancer. You want to make sure he doesn't get contested there, and if Awake do go offensive with a tri lane with the Life Stealer, you've got to be ready to start using those pulls, blast them down with the Illuminate, and Keeper of the Light's a strong deterrent to going offensive tri lane, even when you do have a hero like Phantom Lancer that you want to shut down. So without much further ado, we do have our creep waves coming out. Really looking forward to seeing this Invoker play. Something we haven't seen much of. We'll have to wait and see whether it's an Exort Invoker going for the Sunstrike build or something more likely the Quaz Wex build, the Tornado EMP, just looking for that more team fight control. Here we go. It's actually going to be a dual lane at mid for the time being. Awake sending both Lifesteal as well as Ancient Apparition there up against this Invoker. Invoker grabs himself a point in Quaz, so this is just going to be, at least early game, we're looking at a Cold Snap. He may look to go Exort. We'll have to see whether he gets a point in Wex or not. Top lane, you've got the safe lane farming Shadow Fiend. So they didn't send Shadow Fiend mid, they sent him top. He's going to be joined possibly by some support action here. Both Rubik as well as Batrider not on the map just yet. They're giving Phantom Lancer this completely uncontested free farm at the bottom lane. Nico here is just not getting contested, and this is a bit of a worry for Awake when you've got a hero like Phantom Lancer, so good at controlling the game, so good at dominating things, and then you've got the support heroes making good use of their time, pulling, farming, and you've got Keeper of the Light as well as Shadow Demon. I mean, stacking things up here in the jungle just to make sure they get some levels, they get some farm as well. Nature's Prophet, he's being annoying over in the mid lane as well, so this is going to be problematic for this dual lane, as they'll quickly realize it's going to be, hey, where did our creep wave go? As Nature's Prophet, as well as the Batrider, neither hero going to the off lane. Basically, both teams have completely abandoned their off lanes, deciding it's just too dangerous to go up there. Shadow Fiend as well as, well, the Rubik, potentially the Batrider can just cause a lot of damage over a quick amount of time, and that'll be a quick first blood if either team look to go into that off lane, send a hero there. As here we go, Ancient Apparition catches on to what's going on here with a bit of harass, but he's actually going to be forced back by some treants coming out from the Nature's Prophet. He has realized what's going on. Nature's Prophet pulling this mid wave, pulls it to the creep wave over here, and then, well, you have experience being denied from the Lifestealer. You can even pull it over to this B camp here as well if you want to further cause more XP to be denied, and this is really problematic for Awake at this mid lane. You can see Lifestealer not farming as well as Shadow Fiend or the Phantom Lancer for the time being. As Invoker decides to mid lane, he's going to head towards the top river. Nothing too much happening there. Both teams playing this very safe, and you're not really expecting to see an early first blood when you've got a laning setup like this. Neither team sending any hero up against the opposing team's tri-lanes, which spells any kills to happen are likely to happen in the mid lane. That's where we look maybe for some early action here, if Ancient Apparition and Lifestealer can catch the Invoker out of position, because the two side lanes are just complete. It's just one team there with no opposition, and it looks like, ooh, Pacific. They're going to bring 4 bottom there, maybe looking for an early push here. Nature's Prophet decides to TP in, picks himself up a Sage's Mask, and they're going to look to try to take down a very fast Tier 1 tower, and we'll have to wait and see if there's going to be any response coming from Awake. They haven't sent Batrider at all to any lane yet. He's just been spending his time in the jungle. He's not really in a position to defend. Maybe Awake look to sort of counter-push at this top lane. They look to bring in 3-4 heroes top and then go for a push. But for the time being, they're falling behind. We see Phantom Lancer. He's picked up this early Ring of Basilisk, gives his creep wave the armor needed to sustain these tower hits. And then we look at this Tier 1 tower dropping very, very fast, possibly even a second tower. Nature's Prophet going to lure away this creep wave with a treant. And then, well, we look at this second Tier 2 tower being completely vulnerable. Oh, really smart play coming out of Nature's Prophet. Lennon Demon, he basically sends these into the Ancients here. And this is going to be, I mean, it's going to help them push a lot faster. Additionally, if the Radiant team want to go over here and try and last hit some of these rock golems, they can do so. But more importantly, they're just looking to make sure that they can get these 2 fast towers. Oh, Batrider, he needs to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage here, but it's still very early days for both teams. We do look back at the Invoker. I mentioned what builds you're going to go for. We now see it. He's gone for the Quaz Wex, so we'll be looking at the Tornado EMP. He's actually gone for an early point in Ghost Walk. He looks like he was forced to use that as well. Possible engagement coming out from Awake, so going for a very, very defensive build here over on the Radiant side with the Invoker. And there we go, Tier 2 tower. 4 minutes in, it looks like Pacific have it. So 4 minutes in, we're looking at a very fast two tower swing going away Pacific, and that's going to spell a significant gold lead going their way. The Dire team, they've been spending more time farming, getting XP in these lanes, as Pacific have been sort of forced to keep these 4 heroes grouped up at bottom. But all in all, it's a bit of a trade-off. Pacific get themselves some early gold. It comes at the cost of sort of individual farm as well as XP. You can see Awake with a slight level lead all around the board, and that's something which is going to make it hard for Pacific to take a head-on team fight if they are lacking these levels. Shadow Demon just level 2, Keeper of the Light level 3. You want to hit that level 4, so you get the Illuminate level 2, as well as the Chakra Magic up to level 2. Nico actually decides to rotate top now, so it looks like Pacific, either they're looking just to rotate Phantom Lancer here to try and find some farm, or they feel they can look to basically push down another lane. They got 2 fast towers bottom. If they really want, they can look to get 2 fast towers top as well, but I think Phantom Lancer just feels pretty safe here farming. It's just been a solo Shadow Fiend for the most part, as Rubik hasn't really spent much time in lane, but we may see some of that fairly soon, as more heroes going to be looking to rotate around the map here. Pacific just really sort of keeping these heroes moving around the map, and this is a good start for them. They're actually going to de-ward this lane ward here. Keeper of the Light denies Awake from having some much-needed vision there in lane, as now top lane is going to be their next target to push down. They've got 3 heroes up here with the 2 supports and possibly looking to bring in more. We've seen the Nature's Prophet TP bottom when needed. Maybe he'll look to be TPing top, as Awake, just with a Shadow Fiend as well as Rubik. This is not going to really be enough damage and firepower to actually defend this tower. They need that long-range AoE spam. Nature's Prophet now reveals himself. He comes through the trees, sends one tree and off in front, and that's really what the little trick he was doing last time. Pull the creep wave away, and then you've got this tier 1 tower basically being able to bring it down with no contention from the creep wave. Very little coming out from the heroes as well. Shadow Fiend trying to drop some long-range razors, but just unable to find the range to do so, and it's another tower. Just 6 minutes in, and Awake are unable to defend a single tower on this map. This Nature's Prophet last pick is really working out well for Pacific, and we'll have to wait and see when do Awake look to finally defend. Right now, they've just been letting tower after tower go down without even trying to defend them. They've just been sacking them completely. They need to try find a first blood, maybe. That'll get them some nice early gold, but all in all, they just haven't really found anything. Oh, open wounds, but that Invoker, he's got a haste rune. That is not going to slow him down when you've got a haste rune up, and it looks like Pacific, well, they're back to their old tricks. They're going to keep on pushing this top lane. Awake, what can they offer in return? Only level 6 on the Shadow Fiend, so we haven't got those level 4 razors just yet. He's going to drop 1 long range. He's actually, Nature's Prophet going to TP in, get very aggressive here. Is there any backup here? It looks like Nature's Prophet realizes he's got to back off now. To wait and see, are we looking at any rotations from the support heroes? Because Awake, they still haven't defended a single tower yet, as it looks like this time Pacific decide things are getting a bit too hairy. They also notice, they do notice the Lifestealer who's left the middle lane. He's rotated top with some phase boot. Scouted out by the Phantom Lancer, as Phantom Lancer just sending his illusions in to be as annoying as possible, and they're not going to be able to get this tier 2 tower, but they forced Lifestealer to stop farming at mid. They forced the movement from Awake, and that's something Awake weren't really willing to do. They wanted to keep farming these lanes. They didn't want to have to commit lots of heroes to defend and just waste their time. They go top with 3-4 heroes, they don't get themselves a kill, and we're 7 minutes in without a kill, but there's been a lot of pressure applied from Pacific. They're split pushing the map, they're getting farm on these heroes, they're getting towers, and we're still very early days here. Nico at top, he's got himself Tranquil Boots, Ring of Aqua, and his first blade already, so we're looking at a Diffusal Blade build. Have that mana burn coming out as fast as possible, and that's a really useful way of dealing with a Lifestealer. If you can burn him down before he uses the Rage or afterwards, he doesn't have a second Rage, and suddenly he becomes a lot more vulnerable, a lot easier to kill. Phantom Lancer, level 6 now. We see his build. He's gone for a couple in Double Walk, 1 in the Juxtapose, so he will have a bit of an Illusion Army if he can get a bit of luck going his way with that Juxtapose, but right now it's just top lane, continuous spam, and this is the power of the Phantom Lancer, Keeper of the Light. PL can just keep spamming these Spirit Lancers, and then there's Keeper of the Light to give him the mana he needs to just not run out. And wow, Lifestealer gets blasted down very, very low here. And this is not even from an engagement, this is just from constant ranged harass. Oh, Batrider, he's got himself a Blink Dagger. He's going to dust up Nico here, but he's being slowed down by a couple Lancers. Boomshell getting a very fast blink, but he's just unable to catch up. He will get the blink off. There's your lasso. He wants Nico. This could be your first blood. Illuminate coming in from the side. Nico goes down. First blood goes to Awake. As Awake, it took him 8.5 minutes to strike back, but they do so with a Blink Dagger on the Batrider. Pops the dust, blinks on after. Luckily for him, he did manage to shake off some illusions here, but the fight's actually not over. Pacific going to find themselves the Ancient Apparition. They do strike back. 1 kill apiece now, and possibly not done. Toy on the Lifestealer. He's going to scatter an Invoker here. Just going to look to trade hits, but further down in the jungle, Shadow Fiends come in looking for this Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet gets raised down. Shadow Fiend still chasing. Invoker forced to Ghost Walk away. as Illuminate's actually going to come flying in here. They're still looking to chase here. Batrider, he's got this blink dagger up, but he's completely out of mana, completely out of HP. Forced to retreat. Oh, Illuminate, keep it light. You've got to be careful. You're completely caught in no man's land. Does have a TP. Can he find a place to get it off here? It doesn't look like he's got enough mana for it. And PL's back. PL finds the Batrider. PL could even get more here. Shadowfiend. Oh no, there is no escape for this Shadowfiend as Nature's Prophet comes TPing in. Invoke is there as well. And a 4-for-4 trade. It took us 8-9 minutes, but guys, it is suddenly heating up here in Singapore as they've suddenly 8 kills just in the course of a minute or so. And it goes completely dead even. Pacific find themselves getting 4 kills, 2 going the way of the Phantom Lancer though. So 2 kills to the Phantom Lancer, even though he gets picked off. This is I'd say a good trade for Pacific. It ended with the Shadowfiend dying, and Shadowfiend, despite getting a couple kills earlier on there, the death at the end is very, very harmful to his farm. Phantom Lancer died, then came back and got the kills. A much better trade-off for him. He also gets some much-needed levels here. We see him hitting level 8 now. And we'll have to wait and see whether Pacific looks to keep on being aggressive here. They've really managed to make good work with this pressure they're putting on, using the spam coming up from the Illuminate as well as the Lancers. Keep the mana up using the Keep It Light, Chakra Magic, and all in all, things are going really well, got to say here for Pacific. Awake is still well in this, and we'll have to wait and see whether or not they strike back. Wow. One team with a big gold lead, the other with an XP lead. That just goes to show how this game's progressing. Oh, Nico, he's caught out again. Latitude up, defensive disruption. Is this going to keep him alive? Doesn't look like it. He's going to get thrown up in the air by the Rubik, and that's going to be his death. 2 deaths in quick succession here. Toy now in all sorts of trouble. He gets blasted down. Keep it alive. Picks up another kill. 2, 1, and 3 for Nyakers. As now, once again, we are dead even here. 5 kills apiece, 10 minutes in. And Awake have finally decided now is the time that we hold our ground. Now is the time that we fight. They are done just sitting back and watching towers fall. They're looking to take it to Pacific. They haven't got the Lasso up anymore on the Batrider. That's really where they've been looking to set up these fights. Whenever they've got the Lasso up, oh, DVA. Shadowfiend going to get thrown back in here by a Keeper Light, Blinding Light. Illuminate, actually no, sorry, Tornado going to go flying through. That gets DVA very, very low. 60 HP, he will be kept alive. As the next line TP's coming in. Actually, Nature's Prophet snipes a kill here on the Shadowfiend. I believe it was with an ultimate. Wow. Did not see that one coming here. Nature's Wrath of Nature actually finishes them off. Must have had some vision there, maybe from the Shadow Demon. And now the push back on the Tier 1 tower at mid. Invoker, Nature's Prophet. I mean, it's the 4 amigos right now. They have 4 of their sort of mid-game heroes looking to push and apply pressure while they've got 1, their late-game carry, the Phantom Lancer just off farming. He finds himself at the bottom lane. Looks to find some farm there, and while the rest of his team are just pressuring this mid lane, this Tier 1 tower at mid. They do have to be careful. Batrider with a blink dagger. Whenever that lashes up, he's going to look for those pickoffs. He's going to look to try start things on a good note for Awake in any sort of a team fight. The Glyph is going to be popped. Is Boomshell going to be looking to go in here? Blink dagger is there. It looks like for now, both teams going to settle down, not look to sort of over-engage and find themselves in a bad position here. Awake just trying to scout things out with the Batrider up front. And things are starting to settle after a lot of kills over a short amount of time. Pacific, they're still really just adamant about pushing this mid lane. They've got 4 heroes still there farming. Phantom Lancer still hasn't joined up with his team, but the beauty of this Keeper of the Light pick is that you can use this. You can use the recall from the Keeper of the Light, bring the Phantom Lancer in at any time you'd like. They do manage to finish off this Tier 1 tower. Shadowfiend needs to be careful. He's going to get actually burst down here. Was that actually a Dagon? Nature's Prophet has a Dagon. Zaps the Shadowfiend here. Shadowfiend's going to turn around and take off the Invoker. Does get blasted down by the Keeper of the Light. And now the chase is on. They want the Rubik. He's down to 100 HP. He's level 60, but hasn't stolen any spills just yet. Nature's Prophet with the TP and doesn't have a Dagon up, but the right-click damage is enough. Takes out another kill. Elsewhere, it's Batrider once again finding the Phantom Lancer. 3 Lassos, 3 Phantom Lancer deaths. Really, really great play coming out from the Batrider here. He's managing to find this Phantom Lancer time and time again. As, wow, this is getting problematic. Phantom Lancer just can't find the farm that he wants. And it looks like, guys, things are settled down here. We're going to quickly cut to an instant replay of that engagement earlier on from top lane. And this is the top lane. This is the first Lassos coming out from the Batrider. He found the Phantom Lancer with the dust. He manages to get the Blink Dagger off, secures the kill for his team. And that was really where the tempo started. That was the first kill of the game. It took 8 or 9 minutes before we actually had a first blood. But that was when things got started. Things started to get heated. And from there, we had 3 or 4, well, I'd say 7 more kills. There was a 4-to-4 kill trade. And things really sort of looked pretty all right. Even though they lost Phantom Lancer Pacific, the team fight did go decently for them all in all. 4-star now picked up for the Invoker as not going to be a second Dagon. They've got just the one Dagon on the Nature's Prophet, and we're going to have to see where he looks to go for with this next item of choice for himself. Shadow Fiend. He's still looking somewhat under farm, which is a bit of a worry for Awake. They sent him to that safe lane to farm, but he's had 3 deaths in a short amount of time. We're going to have to wait and see whether Pacific... It seems they're sort of happy to settle things off. They're not looking to apply too much pressure now. They want to pick up some of these next support items. I mean, you want to have the mech up on the Keeper of the Light. You've got the Force up on the Invoker, but Invoker can always do with a few more levels to help him and his team out, taking these mid-game team fights. And just 14.5 minutes in, they realize PL hasn't got his Diffusal Blade yet. They want to make sure they have this Diffusal Blade probably before they look to fight. Even with the Diffusal Blade, they can still look to take this late game. George is a one-hard carry against both Shadow Fiend and Lifestealer, but PL is sort of the ultimate carry hero in some senses. He's so good at just split pushing, so good at stalling, and just so damn annoying to verse. Oh, they found the Invoker. He was invis, but he gets caught up by a Sentry Ward as well as some dust, and this is going to be the end of Invoker perhaps. He forced up away, but he still gets caught by the Cold Feet. Actually gets, I believe, healed up by, was that a mech? Yeah, mech giving blast, casted by the Keeper of the Light. Wasn't enough to keep him alive, and now Nature's Prophet in the silo does manage to TP out just in time. The chase is now on. They want this Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light can get completely caught out in no man's land, and there is no escape for him. Lifestealer picks up another kill. He's gone for a phase boost drum build, so tons of movement speed, allowing him to keep up with these heroes. And as a result, Awake now find themselves up 9 kills to 8. That's a really good engagement for them. They needed that fight as well. Nature's Prophet once again being hunted wherever he goes. He quickly realizes there's sort of limited places for him to keep farming, and he may just have to resort to sort of the safer places, farm his own neutrals. He can't look to aggressively split push these lanes as much as he can. As Shadow Fiend, still no items to be seen on him. We're going to have to wait and see whether he goes for a BKB or the Shadow Blade. The two real items of choice here as a Shadow Fiend. Do you go straight for the BKB, have the immunity up, or do you want to get that sort of more aggressive, that riskier item in the Shadow Blade? And there we go. He's picked up the first piece. Over on the Radiant side, Pacific, they've got themselves... Well, they found themselves in a more sort of passive state of mind now. They realize that they don't want to take these head-on team fights. Batrider's constantly picking off heroes and causing them some issues. When you've got Batrider and instantly turning into a 4v5 engagement, that's when things can go very, very badly quickly. And especially when it's a key hero. Someone like the Invoker getting picked off, who's your sort of only team fight hero. He's got the AoE, he's got the Tornado EMP, which is just so crucial for those engagements. So you have to be very, very careful when taking a team fight here if you're Pacific, and I think that's what they realize. That's why they're looking to just farm out some of these lanes. Maybe they look for a smoke gank, maybe they go somewhere else, but it's Nico on the Phantom Lancer who needs to keep on farming, keep getting more levels up as well as items up for himself on this Phantom Lancer. He's going to join the Invoker at top lane, and it looks like, I mean, this tier 2 tower at top was where they wanted to go before. But we'll have to wait and see whether they get more heroes up to this top lane, whether or not they really look to force the issue here. The rest of Awake, they've sort of resorted to sort of pushing out the mid lane as well as the bottom lane. They want to make sure that if Pacific are going to come at them at top lane, they've got the other two lanes pushing on out, keep the lane equilibrium where they want to be. And Batrider, he's picked himself up a gem, get some de-warding done at mid lane, and this tier 1 mid tower, it looks like Awake finally ready to take their first tower of the game. Nature's Prophet drops an ultimate here, going to just sort of delay and stall this push. As Pacific, are they going to commit to this top lane? They've got 3 heroes here with the Nature's Prophet, Invoker, and Phantom Lancer. Possibly can look to bring more on in. And it's the mid lane being pressured by the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend, it looks like he will be able to get this tier 1 tower. Unless we see a deny coming out, but it doesn't look like they have what's needed. Oh, Batrider, he's found another hero. Shadow Demon going to disrupt himself, but there's no escape. Toy the Lifestealer picks up his 3rd kill of the game, and now Awake looking to make sure this tier 2 tower top stays well defended, forces Pacific to TP out, forces them to back off. They do manage to defend their tier 1 mid-town Pacific, but they lose a hero at top. Their push at top doesn't succeed. They get another hero caught out. And now they may find themselves being pushed in at mid lane. They're going to try drop down some vision here to see what's coming their way. But as we saw earlier, Batrider with this gem can scout out things and make sure that he gets complete map control for Awake. De-ward the map, get their map control up, and then make things really hard for Pacific to leave their side of the map and also not to go as far. When you don't have vision, it's really hard to go anywhere when you're not grouped up. Oh, a lot of AoE spam coming from long range here. Shadow Fiend actually gets really, really low. Nature's Prophet needs to be careful not to go too far in here. Does get caught out by an Ancient Apparition ultimate. Probably not going to be enough damage coming from that. He'll survive that one. As Nico still farming. He's had that level 1 Diffusal Blade for some time, and he's now picked up his next little item as well to help give him some extra damage in those team fights. As Nature's Prophet, despite going for this Dagon build, had a nice early impact with that Dagon. Helped get a quick kill or two, but since having those early kills, he hasn't really been able to set up too many more for his team because of the lack of teamfight potential coming from Pacific. It's something which they really sort of struggle in. When they get themselves in a head-on teamfight, unless they have a big PL illusion army, they're not going to be able to sort of do a whole lot to Awake. They have to play very, very cautiously. And something they can also really use late game is the Shadow Demon Disruption. Disrupt the PL, make your own illusion army, and do some damage of your own without even having to send PL into danger. So there's a lot of potential for the Radiant team, for Pacific, the Pinoys, to be very annoying without taking a head-on teamfight. The problems come when they take a head-on teamfight and find themselves, well, getting caught out by the AoE, caught out by a Shadow Fiend ultimate, someone getting picked off by a Batrider. The AA, a great teamfight here as well if you can land that ultimate on a couple of opponents. So Pacific, they need to be careful. They also want to make sure they can just keep on applying pressure without finding one of these negative team fights, and that may just happen if they look to defend this bottom tower. There's a lot of heroes here. Lifesteal as well as Rubik are looking to apply some pressure here. And away. Are they going to look to go on in? Yep, Shadow Fiend comes on in from behind. He's going to look to burst down this tower. And Pacific, they're nowhere to be seen just yet. Are they going to look to defend? It's actually coming. The tower's already down. Shadow Fiend gets blown down very, very low. Right off the bat, he can... Shadow Blade already being used as well. His wall's being dusted. Batrider Lasso. He's down the Phantom Lancer. Once again, Phantom Lancer on the run here. Is there any vision? Of course there is. There's a gem up, but they're going to turn things around. Toy does not have a rage. Toy gets burst down. Pacific going to take this fight right off the bat. Lifesteal as well as Shadow Fiend both go down. The two main carries for Awake, and the chase is still on. They want more. They're searching around their secret shop. Can they find anyone? They find the Ancient Apparition, but TP out just in time. 100 or so HP as he gets out of there. That could have gone a whole lot worse for Awake. They did lose 2 of their main carries. Luckily, they didn't lose too much more, but all in all, a great defense coming from Pacific. They lose their town, but they pick up those 2 key kills, and now they can look to transition into a push here. They can't really push this bottom lane, but they can look to push bottom lane. Sorry, look to push mid or look to push top. Swing to another lane while these 2 carries are dead. Although they haven't got much time, they know that they're in a better position here. Uh-oh. Are we going to see the engagement come in? Nature's Prophet does TP. Batrider manages to avoid it all. He hasn't actually got mana for a Blink Dagger. I think Pacific have realized that, and the chase is now on. No escape for him apart from this Firefly, and it looks like AFF on the Ancient Apparition has bought him enough time to scurry himself out of there. Things starting to settle now as Pacific still remaining grouped up, and this is something which is just so essential for them when you're up against this Batrider. You can just pick off heroes so easily. Over in the mid lane, Pacific have looked to sort of continually... This is what they're doing earlier on in the game. Just throw this AoE spam from as far away as possible, and then basically whittle away, get them down nice and low, and then by the time they're looking to defend the tower, they're in too low of HP to actually succeed in doing so. Oh, top lane, DVA, Shadow Fiend, he's being caught out. Ancient Apparition going to throw an ultimate in, but too little too late. Shadow Fiend actually manages to get this Nature's Prophet down nice and low, but ultimately, it's not going to be enough here. Shadow Fiend once again getting caught out, once again being picked off. As that last Requiem of Souls, just before he goes down, not doing enough damage, as said. Nature's Prophet trying to get this Orchid Malevolence, and once you have that, you have a lot of burst damage. Well, not so much burst damage, but you've got the silence, you've got the focus fire ability coming up from a Nature's Prophet. Makes killing some of these targets a lot easier. Like that lifesteal, if he can't get off the rage, he's going to be in a lot more trouble. Anyways, guys, it looks like things are actually... Well, things are quieting down here, so we'll take a quick replay of that Shadow Fiend getting ganked to the top lane. And this is, I mean, Nature's Prophet able to TP in anyway. As long as you've got the dust, there's no escape for the Shadow Fiend, and easy kill, easy picking. Ancient Apparition ultimate almost does enough damage to bring down the Nature's Prophet, but it's really not enough. And even if Nature's Prophet goes down there, it's still a kill on the Shadow Fiend. It's still a very crucial kill at that. Something which Awake can't afford to be giving away just here, just now. And they're going to find, well, Pacific picking themselves up some new big key items very, very soon. PL's had this level 2 diffusal for some time. Nature's Prophet's getting closer and closer to this Orchid Malevolent. And, well, for Awake, their ability to defend is getting harder and harder. with the levels now being picked up. You've got the Nature's Prophet ultimate gets thrown. You have Keep It Light, Illuminate. All these things to whittle down opponents. Lasu going to find the Nature's Prophet. There is enough damage to bring him down here. Toy needs to be careful. That rage will wear off soon. Nico just trying to fight his way out of this. Shadow Demon disrupted. That's problematic for Awake because now we're going to see a PL army. Is it going to be enough? Nico's going to get caught out. They found two now. The PL army just did not spawn, and that's really going to be the big issue. And now the chase is on to the Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light slowed down. There is no escape from it. Trying to drop a blinding light, but the sticky napalm preventing him from turning, prevents him from getting out of there. And Pacific, they overextend a little bit. They got a bit confident. This is the ability of Batrider to just pick off a hero and then turn the fight into a 4v5. Even with Shadow Demon dropping a defensive disruption on the Phantom Lancer, it didn't create the PL illusion army you needed. Only 2 points in this juxtapose, and that's partly the reason why. It just didn't have the burst damage needed. And wow, what a crazy fight going the way of Awake. We'll catch another quick look at that team fight because that was just so important for Awake to get back into this game. And yeah, it was set up as, once again, by a Batrider Lasu initiation. Lifestealer, he goes on the Phantom Lancer. They've got the vision they need. And even with this defensive disruption, it just wasn't enough to keep PL alive. They've got the vision from a Sentry Ward. And, well, they find themselves fighting 3 kills in quick succession. They then also get the Keeper of the Light. So things turn quickly in the favor of Awake. And this gem is really paying dividends. They picked up the gem some time ago. They've managed to de-ward a lot of this map and use it to get quite a few kills on this Phantom Lancer, who's, I believe, sitting on 4 deaths at the moment. He has finished up a Yasha, but he needs more HP. He needs some survivability because he's still sitting below the 1k HP mark, and that's really the big issue for him in these team fights. If he gets caught out by a Lasu, even if it's just an open wound, he goes down very quickly. He needs just some raw HP, something like a Heart. Maybe we look at a Manta style, but Heart or even at least getting a Vitality booster is what we really need to see come out from this Phantom Lancer. Elsewhere, Awake. We still haven't seen this BKB up on the Shadow Feed. He opted to go for that Shadow Blade, giving himself that initiation and invisibility, but it really hasn't been working out too well for him. DVA has found himself constantly getting ganked out. The vision from both teams, Sentries as well as Dust, the gem on the Batrider has been very proactive. Oh, Nico, the 5th time this game. He's going to get caught out by the Batrider. The gem is there. Is there enough damage? Yes, there is. Ancient Apparition with the ultimate. The Ice Blast finishes him off, and another kill going on Nico as Boombell has just been finding pick-off after pick-off with this Batrider. He's really been the key hero here for Awake as far as staying in this game. 4-1 and 9 on him, and he's got himself into a great position here as Awake. Well, this is buying time for their carries to farm. You've got Lifestealer getting more and more farm, start getting that next item after his armor, and Shadowfiend needs that BKB up. As we'll catch another quick look at that kill being picked up on Phantom Lights. It feels a bit like deja vu as PL once again gets ganked here by the Batrider ultimate. Let's take a quick look. Well, Phantom Lancer, he's not looking happy here. This is time and time again gets caught up by a Lasu. The Batrider having this gem is just the crucial item. It's what's been allowing them to find him time in and time and again. And it also means that Phantom Lancer is farming in very dangerous locations because he doesn't have vision. The Radiant team are lacking someone in observe wards, or at least forced to place the observe wards very defensively. They can't put them on the other side of the map because they just get de-warded time and time again by the Batrider. And then Phantom Lancer's like, well, can I farm safely here? I've got to farm somewhere, and you don't really know where. Oh, Fat Prophet, he wants to go on the Shadow Fiend. No BKB up still. Nature's Prophet taking a lot of damage. Does drop an ultimate here. Defensive disruption coming from Shadow Demon will keep him alive. Oh, Nature's Prophet, Ice Blast to the face. Finishes him off. 1-for-1 trade at top lane. Is there going to be any more bloodshed here? A lot of these heroes getting very low from that Ice Blast, and here comes the Lifestealer. He's going to be looking to turn things around. It's actually Batrider further up. He finishes off Keeper of the Light and Shadow Demon as well. It's going to be 2 more kills going to Boombell. 6-1 and 10 on him. Lifestealer gets himself mana burn down really, really low, but all in all, another good trade for Awake. Pacific just finding themselves caught out of position time in and time again. Nature's Prophet TPs for a backstab, but just doesn't have the survivability. Once you TP in, maybe you kill the Shadow Fiend, which they do, but it's not a fight that goes their favor. And now we're going to find them looking to take down this tier 1 top tower. And for Pacific, they just need to be careful. They don't want to see anyone else getting picked off here at top lane to try and defend this.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Tornado going to be thrown in here. It looks like no one's going to be scouted out. The Radiant team just going to back things off here. And yep, tier 1 tower going to go down uncontested. And with that, let's take another look at that last decisive team fight going the way of Awake. Well, this is the end of it. We have Awake. Batrider, he's been the MVP so far for Awake. He finds 2 easy kills there at the end of that fight. It's all about picking off these squishies on the side of the map. He set things up right off the start. He was in position to... He couldn't save the Shadow Fiend, but he was at least there to sort of turn the fight around. We had Ancient Apparition ultimate come flying in as well, so Ancient Apparition nails 3 or 4 heroes with the ultimate, gets him down nice and low. It made it harder for Invoker to re-engage. He didn't have the HP to go back in, and as a result, they just had to let the tier 1 tower go. They gave up 3 heroes as well. And now we see Pacific in a bit of a tough position here. They're not really where they want to be. The gold graph, wow, big swing recently going the way of Awake. And Awake, well, we'll have to see where they look to go next, as they are now starting to take down towers, win team fights, and Pacific, things are not going to their way. They decide to pick up a gem on this Invoker now. Decide they need some vision, they need some way of countering all this invis potential coming up from the Shadow Fiend as well as these other heroes. And there we go. Aegis goes the way of the Lifestealer. Shadow Fiend decides he doesn't need it. He's constantly dying for one thing, but he's also got a BKB up now, and things are going to get very difficult for Pacific in these next couple of team fights with this item advantage that Awake are finding themselves getting, as well as the Aegis now up in this Lifestealer. He's got that extra life, and this gives Awake the possibility to just go for a group up and push now. They've taken all the tier 1 towers. They can look to start taking down some of these tier 2 outer towers as well. And there's not going to be a whole lot that Pacific can do to defend. They haven't got the best defensive lineup for defending towers, apart from the Keeper of the Light Illuminate. Phantom Lancer, he's the one who really needs to sort of be getting himself more farm. Take this late game. He's got himself the key level 14 now, so he's maxed out the Juxtapose. Doesn't have the maxed out ultimate, but he's got enough in the Juxtapose to make sure he can get a reliable illusion army in most of these fights, and that's really the one thing which Pacific are going to have to be relying on in these team fights to help them out. There isn't a huge amount of AoE on the Wake side. They have got some Shadow Fiend raises as well as an ultimate to help deal with those illusions, but you can so quickly rebuild that illusion army. Even if Shadow Fiend bursts it down with some raises, it instantly comes back to life with a couple more right clicks from us to do is hope that he gets that Juxtapose chance, and it's something which will cause Awake some problems. They haven't got a hero who can really just fight those illusions head on all that easily. If Lifestealer's not in Rage form, he loses all his mana. If Shadow Fiend's not in BKB form, he's going to lose all his mana and take a lot of damage as well. So Pacific just happy to look to turtle things up here. Play very safe and defensive. Wait for Awake to come at them. Hope that Awake maybe makes a bit of a mistake here when they look to push in. Because Awake, their way of pushing is going to be with the Batrider. He's going to look for those pickoffs, try find someone with a lasso, and then look to turn the fight into basically a favorable 4v5 right from the get-go. Pacific now, well, they've got to look to start defending some of these towers here. They know they're up against an Aegis on this Lifestealer, but it's not going to be something where they can just afford to give up tower after tower. Tier 2s are still all standing, something where Pacific have done really well. They're actually up by a tower here with that very fast push at bottom lane. They got both towers at bottom in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and then they look to swing to the other lane. Took down those tier 1s, but they've got to take it late game as well. They can't just afford to have that good early game start, and that's something where Awake have been very consistent in the mid to late game as well. Even losing those early towers and having that very swingy early game fights, they now find themselves, well, holding their own. They've sort of back to, well, I wouldn't say level terms. They're the ones actually ahead here. Oh, Batrider, he's looking for someone. He's going to find Nico. It's always Nico. He grabs him. He brings him to the high ground as well. There's no rank for Nico. He's going to get blasted down. Icebot actually going to miss thanks to that Rubik telekinesis, but doesn't matter anyways. Phantom Lancer gets picked off, and now they're going to move on to this tier 2 tower. Aegis actually getting used. Lifestealer goes in. Whoa, huge amount of AoE damage coming out from Awake here. Pacific gets brought down really low. Shadow Demon actually keeps himself alive with a disruption here. Will this keep him alive? It's not. Shadow Demon with another raise. The second raise is going to land perfectly, and Shadow Demon gets brought down. Awake now a bit low here. Have they got themselves with any heals here? They need sort of a mech up on their team. They've got some earn charges coming out from the Ancient Apparition, and now they swing back towards that tier 2 tower. Now they look to bring down some of these outer towers, or possibly just look to retreat here. Pacific going to find, well, no one handling on this tier 2 tower doors of theirs. It looks like Awake have just decided to retreat back off, even with the Phantom Lancer dead. They're worried about pushing into that Keeper of the Light Illuminate. Nature's Prophet going for a bit of split push here, and this is something which Pacific are going to have to rely on here, going on towards the late game. You've got 2 great split pushes in the Nature's Prophet as well as the Phantom Lancer, and they're going to have to use that to full effect. They can't afford to fight head on, and well, Toy, he fights Nature's Prophet. Easy kill. The Abyssal Blade now complete on him. That gives him some additional stun and lockdown. You can't just TP out in front of the Lifestealer's face anymore when you've got this bash. The Abyssal there gives you a guaranteed bash as well. Also a ton of damage on this Lifestealer. He's hitting hard, he's moving fast. The Phase Boots drum build gives him the movement speed he needs to catch up to some of these heroes. And Pacific, well, their Phantom Lancer has fallen behind. As far as net worth goes, it's Shadow Fiend and Lifestealer who are leading the way now. Phantom Lancer has been just caught out and picked off too many times. The 6 deaths to his name, all coming from this Batrider. The gem, as well as the Blink Lasso, has been what's caught him out almost every single time. Once or twice they've needed dust or sentries, but every time Batrider's been there, he's really just had a huge, huge impact on this game so far. Invoker, well, he's picked up an item to help deal with that Batrider. But the problem is, he's not really being the target. As we've seen so far, the target's been on someone else. A lot of other spells this could help with. The Telekinesis, the Open Wounds, the Cold Feet. But it's still a case where there's just... Even if he stays alive, if Phantom Lancer is going down in these fights, it is not going to look good for Pacific. They've got to keep Phantom Lancer alive. He's the one key hero for them. They need to basically focus all their efforts on his positioning, as well as keeping him alive with the Tornado EMP. Have a Deafening Blast come in if you need to keep him alive. Everything has to be used defensively to keep him alive. We've seen the Disruption usually being timed to help keep him alive. And maybe we need to see a few more points in that Disruption, because right now, the illusion duration just sitting at 5 seconds. You want to have that full 8 seconds. You also want the shorter cooldown. The 16-second cooldown you get with the maxed out Disruption is going to be crucial here in the late game for Pacific if they want to help keep this Phantom Lancer alive. Oh, and this is a neat little trick here that Awake are looking to use. They're hunting. And can they find anyone though? Pacific, well, they've got themselves trying to look for some farm here. They've actually got Invoker at the top lane. He's feeling very, very brave here, all out on his own. Something Awake could look to sort of punish here if they can get some TPs in. They've got plenty of long-range initiations. A Blink on the Batrider. Shadow Fiend with the Shadow Blade, but nope, Shadow Fiend going to reveal himself at bottom lane. And now we see Batrider. He's looking to go in here. That was the Life Stealer bomb. Get the Life Stealer infested into the Batrider. Try find a pick up here, but Pacific not giving up anything. Tornado just going to be dropped. Stalling, trying to slow down this push coming from Awake, and Awake now grouped up as 5 at this bottom lane. Haven't got themselves the Aegis. They did lose that in that last engagement at mid lane. And Roshan also going to be respawning in about the next 4 or 5 minutes. So we'll see. Awake look to just siege this bottom lane. Take it down bit by bit. And Invoker as well as Keeper of Light going to be the 2 main heroes to defend it. Drop an Illuminate, drop Tornado EMP. Got Shadow Poison as well, which is useful. Oh, the Lincoln Sphere blocks the Lasso. Batrider was looking to go in. They actually used the Invoker as bait here. Maybe they look to try and take this fight. Lights will actually get caught in this round. SF, he's found the ultimate. Is this going to be it? Shadow Team, defensive disruption. It's on the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet still going to get brought down. And now the fighting rages on here. Phantom Lancer just unable to get into this fight. He's too low HP now. He hasn't got the Illusion Army that he just needs to take on Awake here. As Awake now going to back things off. Try take down this tier 2 tower. Can Pacific re-engage? There's no Lasso up. Lifesteal also getting very, very low. He actually gets brought down. Long-range EMP. Invoker snipes him. Lifesteal gets brought down. A big mistake coming from him as Shadow Fiend now destroys the tier 2 tower. With Lifesteal being dead, that is the cue to retreat. Awake do not want to stay. They cannot afford to stay. But the chase is on. Ancient Apparition going to give away his life to the Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer says, thank you very much. Let's see if I can get some more. Rubik on the run. It looks like he's going to be alright to get out of there. Nature's Prophet's still dead. As a Tornado going to go flying through. They're pinging him. They're saying, Nature's Prophet, once you're back, let's try get this. But no, it looks like the chase is off. He's too far away. He's too close to his own base. And Pacific are more interested in catching up on a bit of farm here. Phantom Lancer's had this Vitality booster. Wants to finish off a heart. Maybe just go for the Manta style first. We'll have to wait and see which of those 2 items he looks to go for here. DVA. He's back top lane. So he's got himself a Manta style up now. A lot of farm to his name, considering how much he was struggling early on. He's been like this Phantom Lancer, again, constantly focused and brought down. He's been the target for a lot of this aggression coming out from this Radiant team. For the Dire team, it's always been, let's get this Phantom Lancer.
Invisibility.
And Phantom Lancer, well, this is really the worry as you get to late game. If Phantom Lancer can get more and more farm, if he gets up a heart as well as a Manta style, things are going to look quite bad for Awake. They need to keep up as far on 2 heroes, the Life Stealer as well as the Shadow Fiend. Toy at the mid lane. He's had this Armor and Abyssal Blade, but getting caught out in that last fight was very, very damaging to him. Also gave Invoker some decent levels. We see Invoker now hitting level 17. Just 1 level behind that hard carry, the Life Stealer. And that's something where, if we looking at these hero levels, Nature's Prophet actually the one hero who's really struggling as far as the Radiant team goes. Phantom Lancer as well as Invoker, those 2 heroes doing decently, keeping up to par with the Life Stealer, but Shadow Fiend, well, he's the one who's pulled away. He's the one who's really come back from that bad early game start. As those 2 heroes also leading in the net worth as well. Oh, Nature's Prophet trying to find this Rubik at bottom lane. Does silence him up. Unable to catch him though. Force Staff being used just to try push him away. Keep him out of there. As now, Keeper of the Light off in his own jungle. Most of these heroes, well, for Pacific, they're split around the map. They know they don't want to take a team fight. They know they need to split up. They know that for them, the key thing is going to be just being spread around the map, farming as efficiently as possible. Oh, Nature's Prophet caught out in the bottom lane. Oh, this is not good. Goodbye, Nature's Prophet. Lifestealer, well, he's got this ability to bring down these heroes just so damn fast. And Rubik finds a Nature's Prophet. You can break the Sprout using this 4-star. Nature's Prophet thinks he can hide using that Sprout, but it's not going to happen, not going to work when you've got that ability to just break it down with a 4-star. And now we see. We had a Wake take Roshan 10 minutes ago. Do they look to take it again, maybe? Or do they look to just try apply some pressure to some of these lanes? The top lane as well as the bottom lane being pushed out fairly far already. And Pacific, where do they look to go with this? Phantom Lance is at top. He's got himself an Illusion Army brewing. Invoker trying to push out the mid lane. He's got himself a Lincoln Sphere 4-star as well as this gem. He's had this gem for some time, and there's no stopping this Roshan dropping. Aegis this time goes in the hands of the Shadowfiend. Last time it was given to the Lifesteal, but they decide Shadowfiend is now packing more damage. He's going to be the crucial hero to have this Aegis on. For Awake now, they want to really make better use of this Aegis than the last one. The last one they managed to not really do a whole lot. They traded a couple kills. They didn't really push a whole lot of towers, and you can see these tier 2 towers at mid as well as top still standing. Oh, Black Rider, he's looking for an engagement. Here's the Lifestealer, he's inside. He's going to find the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet instantly dropped down. Shadowfiend drops the Requiem Assault, trying to bring down the Shadow Demon, succeeds in doing so. Ancient Apparition Ultimate, knocking the land. Phantom Lancer, he's just going to try stall this. Lifestealer. Watch out your mana, it's being burned down very fast by some illusions here, but it's top lane. Shadowfiend finds himself getting a kill. It's going to be on the keep of the light. Wants the Invoker as well. Invoker going to lose his gem if he goes down. 1 raise, 2 raise. No, it's just going to be a right click. Finish him off. Gem on the ground now. 4 kills going the way of Awake, as well as a gem being dropped here. They can re-pick up that gem. Phantom Lance now on his own, trying to defend. The tier 2 tower likely to go down here. And Shadowfiend still with an Aegis, still able to just aggressively push here. Arcane Boot's going to be popped, and they're going to go high ground here. Invoker buys back. Shadow Demon respawns, but still 3v5. This fight is just not going to be looking too good for Pacific. They haven't got the numbers they need. Awake now. Well, they're going to retreat for the time being. They decide this is not going to be an easy push for them to take. Pacific, this is really hard for them. That fight did not go their way, and we're going to take another quick look at that fight, because that was really, for Awake, the big key point where they finally managed to break through this Pacific defense here. And this is where it started at top lane. Shadowfiend, well, he managed to catch 2 heroes off them the silence, away from the PL. This is really the big thing here. They zoned Phantom Lancer out of the fight. Phantom Lancer could not get involved because he was busy defending the mid lane, while Shadowfiend goes off to the top lane, finds 2 kills for his team, and then basically turns a 4-hero kill swing in the way of Awake. Awake unable to do anything to defend. Sorry, Pacific unable to do anything to defend. Awake, well, they don't actually push high ground. They don't manage to get a tier 3 tower here. Rax is still standing, but it's still a very big gold swing going their way with those hero kills that they pick up. They've still got the Aegis as well if they want to try and take another push, look for another fight here. Shadowfiend getting himself a lot of gold, can look to push again fairly soon. And it's all going to be up to this PL. He has finished the Heart of Tarask here. We're looking at maybe a Manta Cell coming out soon, but the issue is he's 1 carry up against 2 very farm carries. Lifestealer with an Assault Cuirass armor as well as Abyssal Blade, and then Shadowfiend, he's had that Manta BKB Shadow Blade as well as Tread for some time, and a lot of gold, as mentioned, being picked up. He's going to look for that next big item fairly soon.
Double damage.
And they really want to try and punish some of these heroes. They notice that the one thing Pacific can do is split push. They've got this ability to have Nature's Prophet TP around the map, PL pushing lanes, and Awake, if they can find the pickoffs with a Batrider Blink Lasso, with Shadowfiend Shadowblading in, then they can look to sort of go for a push after they prevent that split push. Otherwise, they have to look to really keep these lanes all pushed out. Something they're doing pretty well right now. They've got to worry about bottom lane. Nature's Prophet's been pushing things out, but they've now grouped up at top lane. Awake are looking to try force the issue once again here. Pacific, do they have the numbers to defend this? Do they have the items to defend this? It looks like they may just look to give this outer tower up. They decide the tier 2 cannot be defended here. Toy with a double damage rune, doing 400 damage a hit with the armlet toggled on. Oh, Batrider, he's down to Blink Lasso. He finds the Keeper of Light, instantly turns things into a very bad fight for Pacific. Shadow Demon gets picked off as well. and in goes the Shadow Fiend. Requiem of Souls barely does any damage. It just catches a few on the outskirts, but it's almost just a victory one because they've just managed to bring down 2 support heroes. Let's make it 3. Nature's Prophet takes the fall. And now with 3 heroes dead, we may be looking at these tier 3 towers and Raxus being tried to whittled away. PL, the only hero left defending. He's got this Heart of Taras. Can he try fight this? Nature's probably going to buy back. DBA on the front lines. He's got this Aegis Immortal, having a lot of his mana burned down by these PL illusions, but PL still unable to finish off any of these heroes. He's doing decent damage, but he's not doing enough. Nature's Prophet goes for a split push. He TP's bottom, and this is going to force a wake back perhaps. Otherwise, they have to sort of give up maybe a tier 3 bottom tower. They have to look for a trade, and right now, they do not want to go for a trade. They want to be looking to basically go for kills here. Oh, PL, he's found the Rubik. He may buy more. Shadow Fiend caught on his own. Does have no, actually cooldown on his Shadow Blade. Phantom Lancer just needs to burn his mana a bit longer. There's your Sprout coming out. DBA now caught out. He's going to get brought down, it looks like. Phantom Lancer needs another lance on him. Does do so. Toy now on his own. Age is going to get popped from the Shadow Fiend. He's going to respawn in a second here, but the problem is his teammate Toy is caught out in no man's land. He's on his own. Rage on cooldown as well. Toy, he can't get out of here. He gets burst down. Keeper alive picks up the kill, and Shadow Fiend forced to retreat. Pacific hold on for just a bit longer. They're still in this. There's still some fight left in them.
With me.
And once again, they go right back to the split push. You got Nature's Prophet. TPs to the bottom lane. The other 3 or 4 heroes, they look to go mid. They want to be pressuring both mid as well as bottom. And Lifestealer, can he buy back? That's going to be the key thing here. And Wake want to try and defend this. They've got 4 heroes. Oh, what? Nature's Prophet can't afford to be doing that. Caught out at the bottom lane. And any advantage that Pacific had with this push is suddenly lost. They're still looking to try and take this push though. They've got PL pushing things down here. He's leading the fight, just trying to get as many illusions as possible. Invoker takes too much damage from a Shadow Fiend. Butterfly now up. Shadow Fiend destroys the gem as well. They're looking to move on the Phantom Lancer. They've got vision. The Batrider gem. The Requiem of Souls. Can they bring him down? The Heart of Taras is not enough. They bring down Nico, and now things are looking good for Awake. Pacific on the back foot, on the run. Invoker, Phantom Lancer, Nature's Prophet, all dead. And we see the lines being drawn on the minimap. They want to go for this push. They think they now have what it takes. Are there any buybacks? Can Phantom Lancer buy back? Can the Invoker buy back? I believe Nature's Prophet fought back in that last team fight, so we'll have to wait and see what defenses Pacific can set up, because right now they've got a steamroller just roaming down this this mid lane. Very little to stop it. The Lifestealer just having respawn isn't going to be able to get here in time, but it looks like they don't care about that. Invoker buys back. PL still dead though. Nature's Prophet also alive now, but it looks like the tier 3 tower going to go down. Possibly Raxus as well to follow. It's going to get really difficult to defend without this Phantom Lancer. But they may be able to do so. Invoker just so annoying. And the mana leak goes in on DBA. He's completely out of mana. He can't Shadow Blade. He can't ulti through this. He will manage to take out the tier 3 tower with help of the Ancient Apparition, but it's still a case scenario where, well, they gave up a lot, Pacific. They were forced to buy back. They gave up a tier 3 tower, and now we see Awake back off. They can look to wait for Roshan to respawn. They can just look to farm at their jungles. They can look for some more Batrider pickoffs. They've been so successful with these Batrider pickoffs. Blink, Lasso, and you can have Lifestealer infested in the Batrider for some quick and easy kills. Now top. Shadow Fiend, well, he's had this Butterfly. Satanic is next. And then we're looking at a maxed out Shadow Fiend. PL, well, he's still got a couple item slots to go. Magic Wand as well as his Ring of Aquila. Both slots need to be filled with a new big item to get himself maxed out. And that's really where, well, Pacific are just falling behind as far as net worth goes. Shadow Fiend and Lifestealer are the 2 leading the way. And then you look at these 4th and 5th slots. Batrider and Ancient Apparition. Ancient Apparition with a ton of farm. He's got himself a mech 4-star urn as well as starting to build a sheep stick up. He's actually going to get caught out here. Oh, he's going to try 4-star to the low ground. It looks like doesn't have a TP. He will get sprouted up. And the burst damage from the high ground will bring him down. Easy little pick off there. Ancient Apparition getting a bit too confident. This is a support hero with a lot of levels. That's good and bad. The bad is it takes a long time for him to respawn. He's going to be down for a good minute here. It does have a lot of gold here. We'll have to wait and see if he looks to buy back or just sort of hold things out for the time being. But Pacific not really in a position to push. They're right now looking to just continually farm, looking to try set things up in these other lanes, get some map control back up. They have to constantly deal with this Batrider gem, which is giving them some issues. It's really hard to get ward set up when you've got this gem up on the Batrider, constantly dewarding you. when you've got a Shadow Fiend this farm, you've got to really feel that things are going to get hard late game, even for a Phantom Lancer. He's going to need an MKB, needs to have that True Strike to go through the Butterfly Evasion, but that's still a long way away, I feel. Phantom Lancer, he also is going to have buyback in these fights. It's quite likely if they look to burst him down, use that Batrider Lasso to focus him down first, then we see him needing to buyback. The defense for Pacific is going to be so reliant on a number of factors. The buyback for the Phantom Lancer, who gets caught up by a Lasso. They've had the Invoker Lincoln save them once from a Lasso, but I have a feeling that trick is not going to work more than once. We'll have to wait and see, because it looks like Boom Bell maybe looking to set up once again. And well, his old faithful companion is with him once more. They want these pickoffs. With a pickoff, they can look to push. They can look to go high ground. Whoa. Just a little bit off time. Top lane, we've got some PL Illusion Army. This is what Pacific need to do. Keep this illusion pressure going. Keep this split push continually going. Nature's Brother can TP bottom, TP top if he thinks it's safe. Oh, it's too late though. Awake have taken down Roshan. Roshan takes a fall. And with that, Awake are going to maybe look to just barrel down this mid lane. Aegis as well as Cheese. Cheese gets given to the Shadow Fiend. He does drop his helmet to Dominate, but once he's used his Cheese, he can basically exchange it for a Satanic. Lifestealer, he's got the Aegis. Assault Caress, Armlet, as well as the Abyssal Blade. He's doing a lot of damage right now, and Boom Bell, well, he's going to be looking to lead things off. Try and find that Lasso. Who can he find? Flamebreaker going to get dropped in. He knows that he can't go on this Invoker because of the Lincolns here unless they break it. Shadow Fiend just going to go straight into the front line. Just try to bring down the Raxus. Actually uses the BKB here, but does so to get these Raxus. Melee Raxus go down. Batrider finds the Nature's Prophet, and it's the Batrider pick off time and time again. Setting things up. Lights are looking to go in. They want Nico. Nico does get forced away. Illuminate needs to be constantly spam. Blinding Light going to cause some misses here. Toy, he's on the back foot. He's actually mana licked up. Doesn't have any mana left, but it's top lane. They're trying to push down these tier 3 towers here. Awake, continually sieging the enemy base. Cheese is up on Shadow Fiend. If he gets low, easily pops it. And he's going to have to do so soon. He's trying to do as much damage as he can first. He brings down the Shadow Demon. Invoker goes down as well. Gem on the ground. And now the Rax is going to be the next target for DVA on this Shadow Fiend. Lifestealer takes out the Nature's Prophet. Lifestealer needs to be careful. He's on the run now. Has still got this Aegis here. DVA though, the damage has been done. Shadow Fiend gets the mid Raxes, then swings top, gets the top Raxes as well. And it looks like 2 sets of Raxes will take a fall. Awake find themselves in a very, very decisive lead all of a sudden. Phantom Lancer once again picked off by the Batrider Lasso. It's been the bane of Pacific's existence this game. Batrider has just been picking off heroes every single fight. That fight he picked off 2. He led things off with a pick off on the Nature's Prophet. Then after the fight was over, he gets another pick off on the Phantom Lancer. Such a powerful hero to have, and with that low cooldown on your ultimate, you can use it multiple times if the fight gets drawn out. And now with Awake up 2 sets of Raxes, they can look to back off. Shadow Fiend can pick up his Satanic. Then we look at, well, if they really want to wait for the next Roshan, they can, but I don't think they need to because they've still got this Aegis. They didn't even use it on Lifestealer. They're just missing the Cheese. They had to use it, but when you're Shadow Fiend basically exchanging a Cheese for a Satanic, I think you're in a pretty good position here. Pacific, well, their back is up against the wall. They are getting so far behind all of a sudden. This gold graph is starting to take a big dip for the worse for them. And now the push is on. PL, he's been caught out here. Open Wounds is there. Defensive disruption coming from the Shadow Demon. Needs to send those illusions in. Just try to do as much damage as possible. And this is the issue. Level 1 disruption doesn't have that short cooldown. You need to have the short cooldown as well as the longer illusion duration to really complement the Phantom Lancer pick. And now, the last lane where there's still Raxus standing at bottom. This is where Awake want to push in. This is where they want to sort of basically make the killing blow. Put the nail in the coffin. As they've got Lifestealer leading the charge at bottom. It looks like the rest of the team not quite there yet. Shadow Fiend hasn't got his Satanic up just yet. Probably wants to find himself with some boots of travel as well. And wow, that is a stacked chicken. There is a lot of items on that chicken. Ancient Apparition. Has he actually got what I think he's got? He does. This is one of the most farmed support Ancient Apparitions I've ever seen. And that's something which is it's really the big separating factor from the 2 teams right now. PL has farmed well. He's done quite a bit of damage in these team fights, but look at the rest of the Pacific team. Invoker is behind most of these support heroes.
Nature's Prophet is behind all of the Awake support heroes. The difference is just getting massive. It's getting bigger and bigger by the minute. And Awake now going to look for that killing blow here. If they can try, basically they need just this Blink Lasso coming up from Batrider once again to set things up. Basically start the fight off on a good note, and then they're pretty much guaranteed that they can win this fight if they can get a pick off to start things off. PL, all he can do is keep on sending an illusion and hope for the best. Hope that he gets a big enough illusion army to burn down some of these heroes' mana and cause enough issues here. Awake though, they're going to play this slow, steady and safe. They can wait for the top lane to start pushing in, they can wait for the mid lane to also start pushing in. Because of those two lanes losing their Raxes, they're going to have the creep equilibrium going in two lanes, and then the third lane they do so with having their whole team there. Batrider, oh, he's going to go all out for this. He's got a BKB as well there. He's going to get pursed up. It makes it a bit harder to bring down the Invoker back to his team. It looks like Batrider may have overextended a bit here, but Shadow Fiend, he's just going to go Ramboing in. BKB ultimate. Shadow Demon going to take a fall here. One more right click. It's enough. Ink Temper is ultimate. They bring down the PL. PL is down. Nico goes down. GG is called. Pacific, the Pinoy team, one of two here, has fallen in your first round of the winner bracket. Awake, the only tie team here, are your victors here in your opening match here at the Armageddon Dota 2 Asia Grand Slam. A great performance coming out from Awake. It took them a long time, 55 minutes in total, and it was a close game. The kill score at the end doesn't reflect that. 40 kills to 17, but boy, it looked good for Pacific early on. They got two early towers. They had an early lead here. The first 25 minutes of the game, they were the ones ahead. They were the ones sort of looking to really apply pressure. They pushed down a lot of these towers. They really had that strong early game start, but when push came to shove, it was Awake who had that stronger late game. And it's Awake who will go on to the winner bracket round 2 as your victors. The tie team here taking down Pacific, as Pacific will drop down to the loser bracket. They're still in it. They're going to still have at least one more match later on today, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks everyone for supporting the stream here on Beyond the Summer, as well as a big shout out to Ratchet who are producing the stream. Big thanks to Armaggeddon for organizing this event here in Singapore. For those of you who live in Singapore, come on down. We're at the Marina Bay Sands Exposition Center here, broadcasting the entire Armageddon Dota 2 Asia Grand Slam. You can come meet me, come see the teams here playing live action. It's a great time here, guys. Thank you for tuning in. The Armageddon Dota 2 Asia Grand Slam. Awake, they're victorious in our first match, guys. We'll be back soon with more action, I believe, as we get through to our next round 1 matches here. We'll be back soon, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back very soon.